Welcome to the Solemn Yu-Gi-Oh channel where we discuss everything collecting and investing in Yu-Gi-Oh! Today we are joined by Strictly Sealed, a fellow collector of Yu-Gi-Oh! And many other things actually. You should check out his Instagram or YouTube. He has some amazing pieces. And today he's showing us a very, very special item. What did you bring?
All right, so thanks for having me, Solemn. A very, very special card, Dark Magician Girl, the G3-11. Secret rare variant. It's considered a prize card or a tournament card. It's limited in population upon release, so it's not really a set card. And it's graded PSA 10, so that's like a little bonus on top.
This is probably like the rarest variant of Dark Magician Girl, or would you say there's one out there that's even more rare?
No, this is the rarest. Also the rookie of this card. There's no Dark Magician.
The very first
there's
printing.
no Dark Magician Girl before this card.
That's insane. So how was this released for the people who don't know?
So there is a tournament called Tri-Holy God Advent or something. It's just like a direct translation. It's basically the Japanese equivalent of Dark Duel Stories, the video game. This tournament was held in 2000. I think there was like 2,400 people entered into the tournament, 400 winners. So I believe maybe there was like 60 places where it was held. There's 300 winners officially. And there's some speculation that there's another extra 100 copies that were released in a lottery system, sort of like how Festa Blue Eyes was released. However, it's not confirmed. So the confirmed number is 300, but maximum it would have is 400 copies. The rare version of this card was awarded to all the entry people. So there's 2,400 copies of the rare version. And then there's 300 copies of the secret rare version. It was given in a sealed packet, sort of like how Dark Paladin from Duel Master's Guide was. And then in an envelope. It's not very hard to get this card in like kind of near mint to light play condition. It's not like it's going to be beat. I would say it's quite difficult to get PSA 10 because of the centering issues on this card, as well as the silvering that occurs on most Series 1 cards and Series 2.
Oh, so like the Festa Blue Eyes issue?
Exactly, yeah. The Festa Blue Eyes has the same thing where the edges, they're very brittle, so they peel off very easily and you see a lot of silvering. So it's very hard to get the PSA 10 in that. And it's the same thing applies here.
I see. So we basically start in 2000 with a pop of 300 to 400 on this card, while the rare version started with a pop of 2,000 something, but that's, you know, way less rare, of course. Yeah. 2,400, got you. And so then over the years, obviously, many were destroyed. Yeah. And they already had like pretty bad conditions, let's say, with the silvering, like Festa Blue Eyes and so forth. We have the rarest Dark Magician Girl, by far. I suppose some people would like to bring up the world's Dark Magician Girl, perhaps. Would you say this card is in a completely different caliber from that?
The Worlds, as in the 2017 one, the Ghost?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, it came out in the modern era. The modern era is completely different because people are collecting already, right? Like everybody that wanted that Dark Magician Girl, or who's a collector, who's going to keep the card in really, really good shape, they were able to acquire one. You could say that it definitely has potential to grow, but because it came out in the modern era, a lot more of the copies are going to be in really good condition, if not like brand new sealed.
Yes.
So there is that. And then also the amount that was released, I believe there's like 2,000 or 4,000 of the Ghost Dark Magician Girl. I'm not sure of the exact number, but I mean, it's at least 4 to 5 times more of just circulation population.
So overall, it's like a completely different caliber, especially because you also have the history, right? Like people often forget what age really does to these things. And so that one will forever be, you know, so much older. It will have all of that history to it. Yeah. It is, however, interesting because so few people are really aware of it. I feel like most people, you know, they can talk about Festa Blue Eyes, but this one doesn't seem to get a lot of attention quite as much.
Yeah, so this one is actually, I would say it's more expensive than the Festa Blue Eyes in raw form. So I know of like kind of one that was dented and stuff like that. That one sold for around 40,000 US. So it is quite expensive. Raw Festas usually go for around 20 to 25 to 30,000. So I mean, it's already fetching a little bit more. most people who know of Festa, they know of this card. Like most people who you know, kind of respect the OCG history, they know of this card. They understand the caliber that it's at. I didn't really know about it until like maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago. But at the time, you know, the most expensive thing was LOB First Edition Blue Eyes, which was like $8,000-$9,000, and this was already at like 15 to 20,000, and that was like way out of reach for me. I honestly still can't believe I still have this. So it's something that is completely not something I ever thought I would ever own.
So I guess we now kind of already sneaked into the price discussion. So are you able to share with the audience what you paid for this card? Well, maybe they read the title already, and so we already have an idea of price. But how about we go over that?
Yeah, so before I do that, I'm going to give you guys the history of this card. So this was purchased from Japan by somebody called Wild Cyclone. I'm sure you guys know him on IG. He's a very, very big collector and a shop owner in California. He purchased this card from Japan, and he looked at it. He was like, wow, this card is really minty. He went and subbed it into PSA. Now, my boy, he changes his IG name a lot, but his name is Zach. My boy bought this card from him as a PSA 9. So the guy told him, he's like, if it gets a PSA 9, I want 90,000. If it gets PSA 10, I want 150,000. So it got the 9. My boy's kind of a little bit more well off, but he was able to sell off a lot of his collection to be able to fund it. This was originally actually a PSA 9. When he sent me videos of it, it sort of kind of became more within reach for me. Once somebody in the USA has it and it's PSA graded, so it's like kind of authenticated, you know, I don't have to worry about anything anymore. So now it became a little bit more attainable, because before it wasn't just the price that was like making it impossible. It was just, you know, getting in touch with somebody in Japan. How am I going to get the money there? All of this is really difficult for me because I don't really have the connections. Once it hit the US, I was like, okay, let me see if I can put together a package deal, you know, like some first, second round draft picks to maybe be able to get this Holy Grail card. And I messaged him. I was like, so what do you want for this? He said, I want at least like my money back on it, if not a little bit more. At the time, I had Emperor of Lightning. So if you don't know what that is, Emperor of Lightning is a Pop 6 card in circulation. Like, there's literally 6 copies of that artwork in the world. It's straight from Worlds, exactly. Right? It's the top something. It's like the top 2 prize card, or like the second place. There's only 6 copies of that card. It's not like there's even an OCG version. There's not even a reprint version. Like, that is literally the only way you can get this artwork. Now, I bought that card for maybe around like 45,000, maybe 50,000, and it had appreciated a little bit, and it started hitting. I started getting offers of like 75,000 for that card. I didn't really want to sell it because I didn't really want the cash for anything, because I don't really have anything that I buy. I don't really have an expensive taste for a lot of things except for cards. Exactly. So it's not like I'm gonna go buy a Lambo or something. Not only can I not, but I'm not really interested in cards or anything like that. I didn't really want to sell it. However, I don't like just rare. Okay, like for me, I bought into the rarity hype in the beginning with that card, and I just like bit the bullet because it came up. I slowly started realizing like rarity isn't the only thing. I really want to have kind of a connection with it, right? For me, as a DMG simp, same. I was looking at it. I was like, you know what? I'm willing to put this up for trade. And also another thing that I didn't like about the World's Prize cards is that they come encased in like this black case around the card, and it's not removable. You can't open it. You can't take the card out. And I don't like that. I don't like when you can't take the card. When it's like, to me, it doesn't become a card anymore. It becomes like, you know, a piece of plastic. Exactly. It becomes a piece of plastic. So because of this, I ended up offering it for trade, and then it was around like 28,000 in cash. And he was willing to give me time to come up with it and stuff like that. So, you know, kind of everything fell into place where I was able to get this card. Now, do I think it's worth 90 to 100,000 in PSA 9? Honestly, I wouldn't say so, but I wanted this card and I don't really have another way to get it. Like, it was like, if I don't pay this, I'm not going to be able to get one. In Yahoo Japan, like, they pop up once a year. You know what I mean? And that's in Japan. In like North America, forget about it. Like, that's not going to happen. So I was like, I want this card. I know sales are like 40 to 60,000. Near mint is around 50 to 60,000. I wanted the card. I was just like, you know what? Everything's kind of aligning. Let me pull the trigger. And I got it in. I paid basically a valuation of like 90 to 100,000, depending what you value Emperor of Lightning. If you value it at like 50,000, then I paid 75,000. But at the time, I valued it around 90,000 for the Dark Magician Girl PSA 9. I got it in. I was like, wow, this thing is like gorgeous. Like there's nothing wrong on this card. Like there's like a small white dot, but I don't think it warrants PSA 9. I sent it into PSA Express, not the Super Express or anything. I sent it in like the $75 one because I wasn't about to pay no $300.
Cheap ass, man.
I sent it USPS too, like $4 shipping.
No, dude, you have balls of steel. I would never.
I sent it to them. I was like, I don't understand why this got a 9. Could you please review it? I didn't crack it because I'm too scared to crack it.
Yeah, of course. I mean, okay, so let me get this straight. You're too scared to crack it, but you will ship it with regular express. Is that insured to like
no insurance,
what?
Just
2,000?
no insurance.
Yeah, but like
the
I mean,
75?
the PSA
It's like
insurance.
$500.
Let's say, like if they mess
like
it up,
$500 or something. Yeah.
I think it's slightly more. I thought it was
It might be.
2,500.
I have no
but
idea.
maybe
I
I'm wrong.
declared at $300 because I didn't even want them looking into it, because if they were to look this up or like ask Gezi about the price, I was gonna get billed like $10,000 to grade it. You know what I mean? So, because I got like my Blue Eyes, I graded a PSA 10 of that, and they valued that at 50 grand, and I paid like $3,000 in grading fees. So I didn't want to pay that. So I just sent it low, and luckily it was a Japanese card. They don't know what they're looking at, and they just graded it as if it's like just a regular card. And I got away with like $75 grading fee. Yeah. And
Wow, playing with fire.
and you know the interesting thing about this? Okay, I was telling my boy about this. I swear, okay, I dreamt, and like in my dream, I woke up to the computer, I checked the price, I checked my grade, and it got a PSA 10. And this was like 3 or 4 weeks before the grade even came out. If I'm like foresighting this or like, you know, future telling, like this is gonna be insane. And I was in the car like a few days ago, right when I sent you the picture. I got the email, your grades are available. I was like, I wonder if this is like one of my bulk subs. I clicked it, and it was like a PSA 10. I literally lost my shit in the car, man. Like, I lost it. I was like, no way it got to PSA 10.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Holy hell. So is this Pop 1 on PSA
It's
10?
Pop 2, and PSA 9 is Pop 2. I believe PSA 9 should be Pop 1 now, since one upgraded, but maybe another one got sent in. I'm honestly not too sure. But it's Pop 2 in PSA 10, and the one that graded PSA 10 was like a 2 cert. It was up on eBay for 150 grand, and it disappeared maybe like 2 years ago. There hasn't been another like even PSA graded one since. There hasn't been even a raw copy on eBay in the past like 2 to 3 years, other than that one graded one.
I think this leads us to a pretty interesting conversation as well. Personally, it's my belief that if you zoom out, right, and you look at all of the Yu-Gi-Oh cards that could be considered the best, you know, the kind of card that every collector actually really wants, no matter any bias or anything, I think the best thing anyone will go after is obviously Blue Eyes White Dragon. Like, even if there's more rare ones and there's more this and there's more that, the anime hyped it, every kid wanted it, the Blue Eyes is the winner, and I don't think anyone can argue that. But in my very controversial opinion, Dark Magician Girl is number 2, because it's the waifu material, it's so known. Konami keeps pushing it down our throats in merchandise, and so like they know that Dark Magician sells, Dark Magician Girl sells. Do you agree that Dark Magician Girl is the number 2 monster in Yu-Gi-Oh as far as like brand recognition and interest goes?
I actually think it's more like 1B. If I think Blue Eyes is 1A, I think Dark Magician Girl is 1B. I think it's higher than second place because this card is not only iconic, like it is, I mean, dude, you can go on YouTube and look up Dark Magician Girl first appearance Twitch reaction, where people are watching Yu-Gi-Oh! And there's the Twitch reaction on there of like literally the chat just goes wild when when she appears. Like she had one of the best entrances of probably like any anime character in general. Like honestly, that the entrance is fantastic against Arcana. I'm not sure if you even remember this, but I still remember.
Yeah, Battle City season.
It's like Battle City, right? When he was battling Arcana Dark Magician, he summoned this, and it was like ridiculous. So, to me, honestly, and the way that like as the series went on, she just became more and more iconic. Like what I don't know the season where it's like with the dragons. Like she started talking at that point. She just became kind of more than just a card, if that makes sense, in the TV show. So because of this, and you add the fact that, to me, in Blue Eyes, there's competition. There's the LOB, DDS, SDK. You can actually say, like, okay, maybe this is a more iconic version of the card. In Dark Magician Girl, there is none. In the TCG and OCG, it rules through one copy, right? The MFC and the G3-11, right? In both versions,
yes,
there's no you can't get a second best, right? Like there is nothing like that. So
there is no alternative whatsoever.
Exactly. So in terms of cards, in terms of iconicness, I really think it fires on the same amount of cylinders, if not more, right? So I love my Blue Eyes. Like, I love my LOB, my SDK, and my DDS, and I hope to one day own a Festa. But this, in my opinion, is like the epitome of prize cards. Because this has everything. This has 400 copies, Dark Magician Girl. It is the rookie card. Like in Festa, for example, it's not the rookie card. It is limited to 3,000 copies, right? So Festa's 3,000 copies, and it's like the second or third release of the card. Versus this is literally the first one. Like, there has never been Dark Magician Girl on a card before this one.
I agree, by the way, that if we're talking about specific cards, I think this one beats the others because there are no alternatives. I was just more so speaking from like the brand around the card, right? Like I think Blue Eyes as a brand on itself, regardless of cards, is stronger than Dark Magician Girl. But I agree. If I had to pick a card, I would pick this Dark Magician Girl over Festa Blue Eyes. And I know some people are now going wild in the comments about to murder me, but yeah. I mean, this is insane. So, given that you valued this card at the PSA 9, whether it's the 90,000 or whether it's someone says, oh no, the World's card is less, it's only 70,000, let's say. Would you say that in PSA 10 this is now a six-figure card?
I wouldn't sell it for under 100. I would not sell it, and there's only one other owner, and I'm sure it's like some millionaire in Japan, and he's not eager to sell it. Yeah. I would say like it is 100 grand minimum. The sealed copy of this, you can get a sealed copy right now in Japan, I think for 120,000 US. So, or maybe 100,000, 110, something like that. I don't remember exactly, but that's what a sealed copy goes for. And I'm not sure how well that's sustained over the time. Like, who knows if it can get the PSA 10. Likelihood is it is a 9 most likely. Unless it's dented. A lot of the cards that come in the packet, they have the dent in the back because of the flap.
Oh yeah, from the packaging itself. Yeah. Is it waxing or an actual dent?
It's like an actual bend in the card. Like it goes down the back where the wrapper goes. So it meets here, and usually people put it in a top loader or a card saver or something, and it ends up imprinting on the back. So I'm not sure if that one even has that, but if it does.
Those are 5s.
Yeah, that's a 5 or a 6, exactly. Yeah, so if it doesn't have it, then it's at least a 9. But I can't imagine being more than like 40 to 50 after like 50 years of grading. There could be more than 40 to 50 PSA 10s. Like, I can't imagine.
I think it'll be way less.
Worst case scenario when I'm making my investments, because I mean, this is not just an investment to me. This is truly a piece of my collection. But when I'm thinking like that, I always try to go worst case scenario. Let's just say that every winner kept his in like perfect condition, didn't even take it out of the envelope or anything like that. I can't imagine more than 50, right? And there's more than 50 people that want this card. I would say that this is the top price card. I would take this one over the BLS, for example. I know there's like one copy in the world or whatever, but I don't care. It's like Blackluster Soldier, right? I mean, that's a badass card, but it's not Dark Magician Girl, right? It's not.
Now we're getting into the real controversy.
Because look, like things are rare. Okay, like the Serpent Knight Dragon, for example, is rarer than this. But who cares? It's Serpent Knight Dragon, right? Like it's a nice card, but it's not Dark Magician Girl. It's not Blue Eyes Festa.
Hey, hey man, I'm gonna defend Serpent Knight Dragon right here, but I do agree, Dark Magician Girl, you almost can't beat her iconicness, and I also agree that rarity by itself isn't enough.
Yeah.
And this is something that I have spoken about before when it comes to World's Prize cards, and some people have fought me over this, and that's fine, you know, we can all have our opinions and so forth, but to me the biggest struggle that World's Prize cards have is that no one knows these cards.
Exactly.
Like, beyond the high-end collectors who know, like, oh, here is Rakan, the Leon, and the blah, blah, blah. Like, no one has ever seen these arts before or ever cared.
Yep.
And so they have that rarity, and obviously they're part of Yu-Gi-Oh! History with all of that, but they're still not super known cards that people have this massive, long-standing relationship with, let's say. Not creepy, by the way. Whereas Dark Magician Girl and Blue Eyes, you know, everyone loves those cards. So here you have both. You have the rarity, but you also have the brand.
Exactly.
And again, I don't own this card. I get nothing out of praising it. I'm just super excited that you were willing to share it on the channel, and I do love this card a lot as well. So yeah, congratulations on the PSA certification 10 right there on this card. Before we sign off on this video, do you have anything you want to shout out? Any place people should check you out or anything like that?
Yeah, so check out my IG. That's where I post a lot of my collection. Check out my YouTube channel. They're all strictly sealed. My YouTube channel, I put kind of informative videos as well as you know, some kind of like unique history stuff from Yu-Gi-Oh, like the sleeves and stuff like that. I'm planning to take YouTube a little bit more seriously, and if you're looking to seriously start investing in Yu-Gi-Oh, I have a Patreon where I post kind of like my sales, my purchases and stuff like that, where I share kind of how I operate or navigate this hobby to try and kind of like not fork over my life savings into being able to afford the hobbies and being able to, as you say, play with house money, if that makes sense.
Awesome, thank you so much. So people, be sure to check that out. Also, leave your thoughts in the comments down below, like, subscribe, and I will see you soon. Ciao.